Thank you, Martin. Good morning, everybody. As Martin said, I am the new Commissioner General. I was appointed, as was announced in this very room, if I'm not mistaken, on the 20th of January. And after being for almost 4.5 years, the Deputy Commissioner General, I'm now in my second month in this task, and I have spent my first few weeks touring the region in which UNRWA runs operation, meeting with refugees in particular, but also host authorities at the very senior level and our own staff. But this is, I am now here in New York on my first visit outside the region. I have come here primarily to thank the Secretary General for the trust that he has expressed by appointing me in this difficult post, and to introduce myself to colleagues in the United Nations and in the permanent missions, and also to share views and concerns related to the work of the agency that I am now heading. I am traveling today to Washington, where I will spend 2 days meeting with both U.S. administration officials and members of Congress and their staff in another important first visit. Maybe it's useful for you to know a couple of things that I will be talking about, that I have been talking about and will be talking about during this important week. Of course, our main concern remains the situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, where half of the 4.7 million refugees that UNRWA is responsible for live, or almost half. And the situation continues to be of great concern in Gaza. I was there already a few times during my first few weeks. The situation is very complex, has humanitarian aspect, but has the aspects of the crisis of Gaza go well beyond even the humanitarian characterization. They encompass every aspect of society. As you know, we're reaching 1,000 days of the blockade. We have passed 1 year since in Sharm el-Sheikh almost $5 billion were pledged for the reconstruction of Gaza, and that money cannot be disbursed because virtually no materials or equipment destined for reconstruction by the United Nations and by the private sector, no building material, no equipment can be transported from Israel because we don't have permission to do so. What is happening is that therefore an illegal economy is being imposed almost on the Gazans through the utilization of illegal tunnels from Egypt, as you all know, and whatever little expensive and bad quality reconstruction goes on is all of that nature. I met myself with people that produce cement, and they told me that they're very unhappy to have to produce cement dealing with black marketeers and with people that make profit from this illegal economy, and they're very eager to be able to go back to a normal situation where materials can be imported legally according to previous agreements, and therefore proper reconstruction can begin, and resources that had been generously pledged by many donors, including many Arab donors, can be finally utilized by UNRWA, by UNDP, and by others. You'll hear more, I'm sure, from John Holmes tomorrow about this. Of course, the other main issue of concern about which I have spoken to the Secretary General yesterday and to other officials is the situation in the West Bank and Gaza. As I have described it, and many others have described this, unfortunately, the decisions that have been taken in the past few days to build new houses, decision made by the Israeli government, are not helpful. Whatever their legal bases, are not helpful to build a climate of trust. A climate of trust that is desperately needed in a situation in which hopefully talks are resuming. And I am not representing a political agency. I represent an agency that works with and for people, but I do hear what people say, and we do hear that people, if more positive signals are not given, will not be a proactive stakeholder in this very politically difficult exercise of proximity talks and hopefully beyond. We have, of course, very much welcomed the decision by the Secretary General to visit the region, and in particular to pay a visit to Gaza. This is the intention that was announced, if I understand correctly. And we all remember, of course, how important his visit to Gaza was last year. He was the first international leader that visited Gaza during, after the conflict, after Operation Cast Lead came to an end. And we hope that this visit will also mark the beginning of a new and more positive phase for the people in Gaza, and hopefully for the people in the occupied Palestinian territory as a whole. I just want to say a few words. I know it's perhaps less interesting for many of you, but it is very important to understand that UNRWA does not only work in Gaza and in Jerusalem and in the West Bank, but also in Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, and I toured the entire region in the past few weeks. I'd like to just flag how important it was for me to visit Lebanon and to meet with the President and the Prime Minister and other senior officials, and to receive the assurance that this new Lebanese government is serious in continuing the policy of trying to expand the range of rights available to Palestine refugees in Lebanon, and to improve the living conditions in the camps. I drew great encouragement from the position expressed very clearly to me, unprompted, by the Prime Minister. And we will work on that, because of course the devil will be in the many details, and we all appreciate how difficult it is politically for the Lebanese government to do so, but it is a courageous choice that must be cited. In Lebanon we are also reconstructing the Nar el-Barid camp in the north, which you all know about. It was destroyed in 2007. That reconstruction has started at the end of last year. We will be able to build 2.5 or 3 sections out of the 8 sections of the plan of reconstruction. That's the amount of money that we have available as we speak. So we are beginning another fundraising campaign to obtain the money for the rest of the reconstruction. This brings me to my last point, which is that, of course, as you all know, because I've been speaking about it quite publicly, UNRWA continues to be in a very difficult financial situation. Our core program, the program that is our main vehicle to provide the crucial activities that UNRWA carries out, education, health, a social safety net for the poor, that budget has been chronically underfunded for the past few years, about 20%. We need about $600 million a year. We have promises from donor governments amounting to about $450, $460 million, so we're even below the percentage. We have a biggest shortage even than we had in the past. This is not good, because we need to run those services. UNRWA is not an agency that can ever stop. Every day we have 20,000 teachers that go to schools and teach. This is our work. It's the work of those teachers. They need to be paid. We need to transfer them to schools. We need to heat schools. We need to buy educational materials for kids. This is not something that we can postpone for a better day. And that money is 20% short. Not only for running the activities, but I would say as importantly to invest in quality and to invest in what would be my ambition as the Commissioner General, to continue pushing UNRWA, or pulling UNRWA, or leading UNRWA towards a path of innovation and new initiatives. One thing that we would like to launch soon is an initiative for young refugees. We think that there are many young refugees. A very high percentage of the Gaza population is very young. They live in very difficult circumstances. They are the ones most fragile, most exposed to all sorts of risks. So it is important to invest, not only through education, but other initiatives. We have some rather extraordinary pilots, which are not very well known in Syria, for example. And it is resources for this type of innovation that we also need to look for. Martin, I'll stop here, and I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you.